Greetings and welcome to all who gather today in remembrance and action to end violence against women.
I want to acknowledge on behalf of End Violence Alliance Renfrew County our esteemed guests in attendance today. We have Lieutenant Colonel Evans of CFB Petawawa. We have Mayor Gary Service and Councillor Lisa Coutu of the town of Petawawa and Warden Peter Eamon of the County of Renfrew. Warden, I'll invite you up in just a few moments for your words. Thank you so much.
I also want to recognize all family, friends, and community members who've been impacted by gender-based violence, including the loss of loved ones. Thank you all for being here today. In this shared space, we take care of each other's well-being. We agree to treat everyone with dignity and respect, to listen patiently, especially when survivors of gender-based violence speak, to ask for support when challenging emotions arise, and to focus on solutions for justice, belonging, and freedom for everyone impacted by gender-based violence.
I'd like to read our land acknowledgement. We gather from across the hills, forests, rivers, and lakes which make up Turtle Island and the land here in unceded traditional Anishinaabe territory. Together we acknowledge the many histories that have brought us to this land, the land that we belong to, and where we have come from. We extend deep gratitude to the Algonquin people who have and continue to care for the land here that holds us. We embrace our responsibility to support those speaking truth in this place and across Turtle Island, to listen with open hearts and strive to be guided by the needs of future generations in our decision-making and actions.
Warden Eamon, would you like to say a few words?
Good morning, and thank you to the End Violence Alliance Renfrew County for bringing us together today. I want to acknowledge that we gather on this National Day of Remembrance and action on violence against women with deep respect and sorrow. We are here to honor the 14 young women who were murdered at Polytechnique Montréal, the missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and 2 spirit people. The women from Renfrew County, whose lives were taken by gender-based violence, and all women, children, trans women, and gender-diverse individuals in Ontario lost this past year. Today is about remembering them, their lives, their families, their stories, and recognizing the continued impact of gender-based violence in our communities. This day also asks something of us: to speak up, to listen to survivors, to challenge harmful behaviors, and to support those who experience violence. A safer community requires that we listen to survivors, we believe them, and we ensure they are at the center of our work. As a county and community, we remain committed to working with partners, with service providers and community members to prevent violence and to support healing and safety. Throughout our Community Services Department, staff continue to strengthen trauma-informed practices and deepen our understanding of gender-based violence to support and respond with compassion, dignity, and care. We all share the responsibility in building our community, a community where every person can live free from violence. Thank you for being here today in solidarity and remembrance. May our words, our actions, and our collective efforts honor those we have lost and support those who continue to be affected by gender-based violence.
Il y a maintenant plus de 30 ans que la mort de 14 jeunes femmes a été commise à Polytechnique Montréal le 6 décembre 1989. Parmi les femmes ciblées et tuées figuraient 12 étudiants en ingénierie, une étudiante soins infirmiers et une employée de l'université. 10 autres femmes et 4 hommes ont également été blessés. Cette fusillade en masse antiféministe a secoué notre pays et a amené le Parlement à faire du 6 décembre la journée nationale de commémoration et d'action contre la violence faite aux femmes.
It has been over 30 years since the murder of 14 young women at Polytechnique Montréal, December 6, 1989. These women targeted and killed included 12 engineering students, 1 nursing student, an employee of the university. 10 other women and 9 men were also injured. This anti-feminist mass shooting shook our country and led to Parliament to designate December 6th as the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women.
We will now lay red roses to honor those from Montreal. Those with red roses, when the name on your rose is called, please come forward and lay it in one of the larger vases near the back of the rose, the gray or the 2 clear on the sides. Le 6 décembre, nous nous souvenons, we remember. Geneviève Bergeron, 21. Hélène Colgain, 23. Nathalie Croteau, 23. Barbara Dagenot, 22. Anne-Marie Edward, 21. Maud Aviernick, 29. Maryse Laganière, 25. Maryse Leclerc, 23. Anne-Marie Lemay, 22. Sonia Pelletier, 28. Michel Richard, 21. Annie Saint-Arnaud, 23. Annie Turcott, 20. Barbara Kluznik-Vidayevich, 31.
As we mourn their loss and remember their lives, we reaffirm our commitment to fight the hatred that led to this tragedy, the misogyny that still exists today in Canada and around the world. Women, girls, and 2S LGBTQIA+ individuals face unacceptable violence and discrimination. We acknowledge the history of inaction on the issues of violence against Indigenous women, girls, and 2S LGBTQIA+ people, a breach of the recommendations made by the United Nations Committee to the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW Committee, in 2016, the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, and the calls to justice specified in the final report of the National Inquiry on Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirit People. We call for change. We lay a yellow rose for all of the stolen sisters and missing, murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people, their families and communities who hold their memories and call for justice.
Nous déposons un rose jaune pour toutes les sœurs violées, volées, les femmes, les filles et les personnes de LGBTQ+, autochtones, disparues et assassinées, leurs familles et leurs communautés qui détiennent leur mémoire et réclament justice. We're going to have a song presented by Mashkwezi Manitou Foundation. My ask respectfully is that there is no recording of audio or video at this time. Thank you.
The National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women is about remembering those who have experienced gender-based violence and those who we have lost to it. It is also a time to take action. Achieving a Canada free from gender-based violence requires everyone living in this country to educate ourselves and our families and communities on gender-based violence, to center the voices of survivors in our actions, and to speak up against harmful behaviors. We light a candle in remembrance and honor of all who experience gender-based violence.
Trans Murder Monitoring is a research project by Transgender Europe, TGEU, that tracks the murders of trans and gender diverse people globally, including Canada. This project has been active since 2009. The Ontario Association of Interval and Transition Houses, or OAITH, tracks an annual femicide list, including the gender-based killing of women, children, two-spirited, non-binary, and gender non-conforming individuals, where a man has been charged in relation to the death. Over the past year, since November 26th, 2024, there have been 42 femicide deaths in Ontario. Kira Salim, 34, Vancouver, BC. Deborah Anishinaabe, 42, Thunder Bay, Ontario. Jolene Ariak, 46, Ottawa, Ontario. Susan Berazuta, 61, Brantford, Ontario. Alicia Brooks, 34, Toronto, Ontario. Serenity Brown, 21, Toronto, Ontario. Sasha Charles, 46, Barrie, Ontario. Sukdeep Chima, 41, Ajala Tosorianto, Ontario. Renee Dekari, 51, Ottawa, Ontario. Rachelle Frances Desrochers, 54, Ottawa, Ontario. Jane Doe, age unknown, Vaughan, Ontario. Jane Doe, 25, Pickering, Ontario. Jane Doe, 69, Pickering, Ontario. Jane Doe, 63, Sudbury, Ontario. Jane Doe, 41, Sudbury, Ontario. Jane Doe, 33, Peterborough, Ontario. Jane Doe, 78, Brampton, Ontario. Jane Doe, 80, Guelph, Ontario. Eleanor Donnie, 83, Pickering, Ontario. Tracy Duncan, 54, Ottawa, Ontario. Karen Marie Ferguson, 65, Cobourg, Ontario. Anita Goodings, 83, Leamington, Ontario. Anita Joan Gray, 59, Bracebridge, Ontario. Sheila Ann Hercules, 64, Pickering, Ontario. Robin Emmeline Kanasakwe, 40, Sudbury, Ontario. Lori Conrad, 59, Niagara Falls, Ontario. Savannah Kula, 29, Brampton, Ontario. Yuquan Chu, 67, Pickering, Ontario. Ravina Magera, 26, Windsor, Ontario. Paula Mallette, 57, Timmins, Ontario. Shelley Ann Marconi, 54, Shunya, Ontario. Barbara Morgan, 71, Simcoe, Ontario. Barbara O'Donnell, 72, Belleville, Ontario. Shanaz Pastonji, 71, New York, Ontario. Fui Puth, 64, London, Ontario. Nilakshi Ragutas, 20, Markham, Ontario. Brenda Russ, 60, Ottawa, Ontario. Amanpreet Saini, 27, Lincoln, Ontario. Naisha Sam, 42, Brampton, Ontario. Charlene Shellard, 49, Brantford, Ontario. Shalini Singh, 40, Hamilton, Ontario. Marilyn Stevens, 62, Newcastle, Ontario. Michaela Stratsma, 30, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Virginia Théoré, 82, Ottawa, Ontario.
We call on the provincial government to ensure the 86 recommendations from the Renfrew County inquest into the deaths of Anastasia, Natalie, and Carol are implemented. We recognize that this year the Ontario government has named intimate partner violence an endemic. And it is my belief that this would never have happened without the leadership of nearly 100 municipalities who've declared infant partner violence an epidemic throughout the province of Ontario. We lay a white rose for all the victims of femicide and the communities and loved ones who mourn their loss.
Nous déposons une rose blanche pour toutes les victimes de féminicide et les communautés et proches qui pleurent leur perte. Nous demandons au gouvernement provincial de veiller à ce que les 86 recommandations de l'enquête du comté de Renfrew sur les décès d'Anastasia, Natalie et Carol soient mises en œuvre et suivant l'exemple de près des 100 municipalités qui ont déclaré la violence conjugale comme une épidémie dans toute la province de l'Ontario.
We gather each year at the Renfrew County Women's Monument here in Petawawa to remember the 28 Renfrew County women who have been killed and to join in unity against gender-based violence. I invite those who have roses to come forward as each name is read.
Margaret Richardson. Margaret was born March 2nd, 1924, and died on October 23rd, 1969, at age 46. Margaret opened a restaurant and service station in Pembroke in 1947 at the age of 23, with 2 children at the time. She went on to have a total of 8 children while still running her business. At the time of her death, she had 5 grandchildren, and to date she has a total of 16 grandchildren, 16 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. Margaret loved music. Her favorite performers were George Jones and Tammy Wynette. Loretta Ostrowski. Loretta was 50 years old when she died on January 1st, 1972. She lived in Wilno. We know from newspaper reports that Loretta had at least 2 children, both sons, and that she had a 2-year-old granddaughter. Dolores Lenser. Dolores died on April 7th, 1973, at age 37. She had recently separated from her husband, and she and her 2-year-old son were living with her parents in Golden Lake. Charlotte Wagner. Charlotte Wagner was Dolores Lenser's mother. She lived in the Golden Lake area. She died on April 7th, 1973, the same day as her daughter. Charlotte was 54 years old. Mariana Marija Borashevsky. Mariana was born on March 2nd, 1958. She came to Canada from Poland at age 6. Mariana lived in Renfrew. Her family called her Marija, which is a term of endearment in the Polish language. Mariana was a vibrant, fun-loving young woman. She was artistic and very talented musically. She played the accordion and loved to crochet. She died on July 22nd, 1981. She was 23 years old. Maybelle Timms. Maybelle was born in 1928 and died November 30th, 1982, at age 54. Maybelle had 5 children. She lived in Pembroke. Maybelle was known for her love of people and her very generous nature. She was happiest when she was around other people and living in the moment. Her smile could light up a room. She loved to sing and had a wonderful voice. Karen Campbell. Karen was 32 years old when she died on January 31st, 1983. She lived in Pembroke. Karen had 2 sons who were aged 13 and 9 at the time of her death. Her family describes her as a beautiful, energetic, outgoing, and fun young woman. She pursued a career in modeling and singing. She was a protective mother to her sons who fondly recalled how she signed her letters with flowers and smiley faces. Jocelyn Florent. Jocelyn, known to her family as Jackie, was born on December 14th, 1949, and died June 25th, 1987, at age 37. Jocelyn lived in Eganville. She had 2 children who were teenagers at the time of her death. Jackie was born in Granby, Quebec, and had 3 sisters and 1 brother. Her family describes her as a petite, fun-loving woman who always had a smile on her face. Anne-Marie Blosky. Anne-Marie was born September 16, 1974, and died June 26, 1991, at age 16. She had a deep personal commitment to the Catholic faith. Anne-Marie was a student at Madawaska Valley District High School and planned to pursue a career in nursing after graduation. She showed respect, love, and concern for her community, and always had a willingness to help others. Every year, an award honoring Anne-Marie is given to a graduating student at Madawaska Valley District High School who exemplifies gospel values and beatitudes in the daily life of school. Glenda Cole Smith. Glenda was 43 years old when she died on April 22nd, 1994. She lived in Arnprior. She had a 13-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter at the time of her death. Glenda was an outgoing and fun woman with many friends. As a young woman, she worked as a stenographer at the Court of Queen's Bench in Calgary. At the time of her death, she worked for the town of Arnprior. Her children remember her as a kind and caring mom who would joke and make them laugh when they were feeling down. Wanda Scully. Wanda was just 30 years old when her life was taken. Wanda lived very near the Women's Monument here in Petawawa. As a girl growing up, she always had lots of friends. She was a valued employee of the TD Bank. Wanda was one of 3 children. She was a devoted mom to her 15-month-old daughter. Wanda's mother recalls the many walks they took pushing the baby stroller. The flowering crab Wanda planted that year still blooms in her yard. Glenda LaSalle. Glenda was 36 years old when she died on February 15th, 2002. Glenda grew up in Deep River, but lived and worked in Barry's Bay. At the time of her death, Glenda had a 16-year-old daughter who recalls the touching notes her mom used to write to her, and how fortunate she was to know that every single day she had a mom who loved her deeply. Ashley Boudreau. Ashley was 24 years old when she died on January 17th, 2010. Ashley grew up in Deep River. Ashley was a daughter, a sister, and a loving aunt to her young niece and nephew. Ashley was an outgoing, fun-loving young woman who loved to sing. She had a smile and laugh that no one could forget. Summer Lee Angela Boudreau, Ashley's sister. Summer was born August 8th, 1983, and was taken from her family on December 11th, 2022. She was a wonderful daughter, an Amazon mother to Ty, Tia, and Ashley, and a grandmother to Emerson Lee and Jade. She was high energy, a very spiritual, caring, and giving person, full of life, love, and laughter. Her infectious smile and sense of humor will all be truly missed, but not forgotten. Carol Ann Brunet. Carol Ann was born on May 21st, 1956, and died on May 31st, 2010. She was 54. Carol Ann lived in Renfrew. She was a daughter, sister, mother, grandmother, and friend. Carol Ann's sister describes her as someone with an open heart who would never turn her back on someone in need. She loved her 4 grandchildren, and her daughter and son both describe how Carol Ann's eyes would light up when she saw the little ones. Carol Ann was a hard worker who also did volunteer work with Meals on Wheels and the Salvation Army. Michelle Cameron. Michelle was 27 years old when she died on March 15th, 2011. Michelle lived in Deep River. Her children were 3 and 7 at the time of her death. Michelle graduated from Mohawk College, where she studied mechanical engineering. She worked at ACL. Her family will always remember her as an outgoing, athletic young woman with a loud and boisterous laugh. Maureen McDonnell. Maureen was born on October 14th, 1975, and died on November 13th, 2011 in PEI. She was 36. Maureen grew up in the Pembroke Petawawa area. She was the younger of 2 children, and her smile was as big as her heart. She was a mother to 3 children and was very involved in her children's school breakfast program. She loved music, crafts, and had a great passion for animals. Margaret McWilliam. Margaret McWilliam was born on September 21st, 1965. She lived in Deep River for most of her 21 years. She graduated from Kemptville College of Applied Technology in 1986 and immediately started working at a seniors' residence in downtown Toronto, at the same time taking courses in gerontology at what's now known as Toronto Metropolitan University. She was jogging in a park near her home when she was attacked and killed on August 27th, 1987. Pamela Mimnaugh. Pam lived in Arnprior. She was a loving sister and a devoted daughter who shared in providing care to her elderly mother. Pam was loyal, kind, generous, smart, and creative. She was a pet advocate who loved animals, especially cats. She was also an avid gardener. Pam was 55 years old when she died on October 2nd, 2014. Melissa Richmond. Melissa was a bright light in the lives of those who knew her. Melissa's family and friends describe her as someone who would light up a room when she entered. She had a giddy and infectious laugh and a lively personality. Melissa grew up in Petawawa. She was 28 years old when she died on July 25th, 2013. Muriel Lambert. Muriel was 45 years young when she died on July 5th, 1971. Muriel lived in Allison Fraser Township at the time of her passing. Muriel was a loving mother to 3 teenage children. Her children, brother, and sister will always remember her as a fun person. She brought light into every room with her smile and was never stuck for a witty remark to make everyone laugh. As tough and rough as it was to raise 3 children in the 60s and 70s, she never showed signs of stress to family or friends. Muriel was an amazing person with a beautiful heart. Anastasia Kujic. Anastasia was 36 years old. She lived in Wilno. Her friends and family describe her as a person who saw the good in everyone. She had a gentle and peaceful nature and a warm and welcoming smile. She was a lover of the outdoors and worked for a time in Algonquin Park. She had a passion for dogs and horses. Natalie Warmerdam. Natalie Warmerdam was 48 years old when she passed. She lived in the Eganville area. Natalie was a loving mom to her 20-year-old son and 18-year-old daughter, and a devoted daughter and friend. Her passion was caring for others. She worked as a home care nurse and previously worked in palliative care. She was an avid reader and a supporter of her local library. Her friends say she smiled with her whole face and her laugh was infectious. Carol Culleton. Carol was 66 years old at the time of her passing. She was a widow. Her hometown was Chalk River. Carol retired from her work with agriculture and Agri-Food Canada on Friday, September 18th, 2015, 4 days before she died. Carol was a great lover of animals and nature. She was quiet and soft-spoken, but had a great sense of humor. Friends say she was a good listener and very easy to talk to. She loved to garden and play cards. Sarah McKetty. Sarah was 33 years old when she died. She was loved dearly and will be missed, much, by everyone that knew her. Sadly, her 2 young boys, ages 5 and 3, will only remember her through photos and all the amazing memories of their mommy. Sarah was a playful and amazing mom who loved her children dearly. Her kind, friendly ways, radiant smile, loud laughter, and quick wit would help brighten everyday memories and thoughts of her. Heaven is keeping her safe for the family now. No more suffering for Sarah. Jordana Yakubuski. Jordana was only 29 when she died. She was an amazing daughter, granddaughter, sister, and a wonderful friend. She was one of the most authentic women you would ever be lucky enough to know. She had a heart of gold and a smile that would light up the entire room. Jordana was vivacious, sassy, witty, and always the life of the party. Jordana took great pride in her career as a dental hygienist. She was dedicated to her job with an amazing work ethic. Jordana loved all animals, big and small, gardening, plants. She loved to nurture and watch them grow. To know Jordana was like looking directly at the sun. Though she is gone, if you close your eyes, there is an unmistakable imprint left of the bright and shining soul that warmed our lives every day. Lisa Hartwick. Lisa Hartwick died November 15th, 2021 at age 41. She was the loving mother to Zachary and Zephyr. She is missed by her mother Lynn, her father Thomas, many aunts, uncles, cousins, and friends. Lisa cherished her children. She loved being a part of the programs at school. Lisa was that person trying to take care of everyone around her. She loved being needed. Her talent of being creative was like no other. If you needed anything, she would be the one to call. Lisa will be remembered and loved for who she was and her selflessness that she showed. She will be missed by all who knew her. What's the name on the tag? Sorry. Oh, yes. I apologize. I don't have notes, but Lisa Sharp is another one of our members that we're honoring. I apologize sincerely. That's an oversight on my end. We hold a moment to remember Lisa Sharp.
Craig Cardiff is a folk singer-songwriter with roots in the Ottawa Valley. Craig performed at the unveiling of this monument in 2012, and he was inspired to write the song Sisters by the River. So we'd like to invite everyone to sing along. The lyrics are on the back of the program that was handed out. And after the song, we will have a moment of silence.
Sisters by the river, we stand and remember, carved into rock, so memory won't fade. Bring your sons and your daughters down to the waters, down to the water, so memory won't fade. Sisters by the river, we stand and remember, carved into rock, so memory won't fade. Tell your sons and your daughters of names by the water, names by the water, so memory won't fade.
Meditation for the living and the dead. May all women who have been murdered be at peace. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all women and children who have been murdered be at peace. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all women, children, men, and gender diverse people who have been murdered be at peace. May you be safe and protected from harm. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all those who are suffering from violence today know that there are people who care and who are striving to create a better world. May the world be at peace. May we be safe and protected from harm. May we be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we have happiness and the causes of happiness. May our hearts open to the beauty and wisdom of our spirits. May love light our way, and may love lighten our load. Through these difficult times, may we be at peace.
Que cette journée nous rappelle à tous de nous rassembler et de plaider en faveur du changement et de réaffirmer notre responsabilité commune de remettre en question les attitudes et les barrières systémiques qui perpétuent la violence alors que nous construisons des communautés fondées sur l'égalité, la compassion et la justice. Nous déposons une rose pour les survivants, pour nous tous qui vivons avec la violence et pour ceux qui ouvrent pour la change.
We lay a pink rose for the survivors, for all of us who live with violence and those who work for change. Let this day be a reminder to us all to come together and advocate for change and to reaffirm our shared responsibility to challenge the attitudes and systemic barriers that perpetuate violence as we build communities grounded in equality, compassion, and justice.
Chimiigwech, thank you all so much for being here and holding this space. Before we conclude today, it feels like good protocol. Mashkwezi Manado Foundation has agreed to offer the Strong Woman drum song. So again, the ask is to have no audio or video recording at this time. No photos, please. If I may, my sisters, I'd like to specifically put the intention that this song that we offer is for those who we have not intended to not name. The intention of this song is to honor those who we have not named or whose stories we don't know, to ensure that we are holding them close at this time. Miigwech, thank you all for being here. Chimiigwech, thank you all so much. Please stay warm. Please do something kind to take care of yourself for the rest of the day. We do have a small giveaway of some holiday ornaments that are Eva. They have our information on it. So we have those as well. We'll sort of circulate amongst the group. Again, Chimiigwech, thank you all so much. Take good care.